I look kind of like a lizard person sometimes. Maybe I am one of them. Maybe Alan was right. I just watched a great video. Well, I'm still watching it, about halfway through. It's a part 2 of Why I Don't Like Jews by Spurg, Shameless Spurg, who I think is just great. I mean, I know I've seen people talk about whether he's handled or whatever. I don't care. He puts out good stuff. I think there's a risk of that in anyone you talk to. I mean, you can't be sure what anyone is, you know. Even me, I'm probably a lizard person. So, but it's just really great to hear this kind of stuff. And what he did, he put together a lot of different things that some of us may have heard or picked up on over the years, like how Judea went to war against Germany before Hitler even came to power. All these little things, and he brings them all together in one video, and it's great. It's like watching this thing. Just half of it is like watching, 20 other videos over the years. Just consolidates it all together. One thing they keep bringing up, though, the Jews keep bringing up, is this white supremacy as being the biggest problem in America. Where are these white supremacists? Where are they? Who are they? I mean, you couldn't never call yourself one. Your house would be surrounded. They can't have an organization. I mean, it probably could for a little while, and then you'd have a couple guys in there putting wiring bombs in it, and then the base would come down. But it's like, where, who, and where? It's like there's no such thing. And what would they do? What does that even mean? Behold, and we talked about it before, the whole concept of white supremacy comes from Africa. It comes from the cargo cults. It comes from the fact that they were seeing these beings come over that were like gods. They'd have stuff like a mirror, and they would just be freaked out by it, like magic. White people in my lifetime, anyone I've ever known, has never talked about supremacy. Like, what do you mean supremacy? Supremacy in what? Everything? We're all different. Everybody's got different strengths and weaknesses. This is how it is, But, so all that talk about the white supremacy is coming from them. I mean, I'm, of course, not a white supremacist. I am a white enthusiast. I love my people, and, I always cheer them on. I hope they keep doing well in what's being called their shadow days. Like, we're going to go off to the island like the elves in the end of Lord of the Rings. And we'll leave these lands to man, which is the Muddization of the rest of the world, so they can all swirl into some kind of brown Play-Doh. Whatever, that's how it is. But just hearing this thing, white supremacy, over and over, with absolutely no, evidence of it existing. Where, how, who are these people? They'll call anybody. The thing is, they'll point you to, guys on TikTok, or they'll point you to guys like on YouTube, if even there are any. I don't know if anyone could survive being a known white supremacist. They'll point you over to guys like fucking, what's his name? The Joker guy. What's his name? He's funny. I watch some of his streams. It's like I don't have the balls he does. Well, not balls, but just cruelty, I guess. It's fucking hilarious, though. They call him one. You go to his Wikipedia page and known white supremacist. Known? What do you mean known? He's never, said he was. They name people white supremacists whom they think are a threat to them, really. But they're, to say they're the number one problem in America, it's just not true. It's like the cake is on the table. You can see it there. It's like when you put the cake on the table, everybody can see the cake is on the fucking table. It doesn't have to be debated. We can look, we can see. Same thing with white supremacy. You can look, you can see that on who are these organizations? What are they talking about? And the reason no one challenges them on it is because they don't want to sound anti-Semitic. They got this thing sealed down pretty well. It's fucking crazy. The thing is, they're not like these masterminds. They have Satan behind them. They made a deal with him a long time ago. That same deal that when Satan brought Jesus up onto the mountain, he's like, look at all this stuff. I can give you all this. And Jesus was like, no, fuck you. The Jews were like, okay. And from there, they would be the betrayers of humanity out of the Black Sea, slaughtering what were actually the real Jews in their way, and just taking over an identity that's not theirs. And if you really think God was going to choose people, and those were God's people, and as the Jews say, no other people except them are the children of God, then what the fuck kind of God is that? Well, I'll tell you what kind of God it is. It's fucking Satan, because that's what they worship. They worship the devil, the God of the Old Testament. Their God is not our God. And once you figure that out and you start looking at that, it kind of makes sense. I don't know if they realize that. Some of them must. Canaanites, making sacrifices to Moloch, mutilating children. It's all right there. Nothing's hidden. You just have to look at it and not be afraid to look at it. There's always going to be that voice, like I was saying the other night, that's like that voice that's been programmed into you and put into you with spellcraft, saying, oh, you're a bad man, you shouldn't think this. No, don't be anti-Semitic, don't be a racist. That voice that's in there, the voice that needs the M80 stuck in its throat and then lit, maybe 5 or 6 M80s. You'll always have that going too. And it's like, oh man, you have to ignore that. That's been programmed into you. That with, a healthy amount of spellcraft too. But it slowly people are beginning to understand. And I just wanted to point out the whole thing about white supremacy. Where are they? Who are they? They're just naming various social media people as white supremacists and calling it a day. I don't know. They're running out of road, though. I don't think this is going to go much longer. It's be interesting to see what the next 5 years brings with all this stuff. They're currently doing a genocide right now that everybody just has to sit there and watch. Whatever you think about the Palestinians or their situation in that area, and what's been going on many, many years, they're destroying Gaza, and they have these parties. I was watching on Twitter where the Jews get together and they say it's the best show in town, and they all stand around and watch Gaza as it's burning and being blown up. It's fucked up. That's evil. Those aren't God's children. You think God's children would make pornography at the level they do, make it their industry? And that's the only semi-legal industry they run that's not evil. They run all the evil shit. God's children, a different God, And once you figure that out, it's like, okay, they are God's children. The fucking Satan is their fucking God. And he promised them when he returns, because they want him to return, we'll all be their slaves. And I always talk about this one thing with the rabbis. I mentioned it where they kind of cornered Netanyahu. I finally found a screenshot from it. I couldn't find the video, but this is it right here. And it was part of the video, and they cornered him like, we need to, get the timeline moving because none of us are getting any younger, and we want to live to see the Messiah. So what they're telling him is to move things ahead quicker, get that third temple up, wipe out the Palestinians. There has to be a sacrifice of their own people, though, too. It plays into this. They'll have no problem doing it, but I wonder how that's going to pan out. I've often thought maybe it would be like a thing where they try to trick the goyim and say, yes, there were evil Jews in our group, but we figured out who they are, and now we're, and they'll sacrifice a bunch of their own in some way, whether, in the public eye somehow, maybe jailed, or who knows, or they give up a certain amount of their people, where the real guys just keep running things in the background. It's a possibility. But yeah, there's a couple things that have to happen before their Messiah comes back. But they have upped their speed of the situation, especially when you look at something like Gaza. And the faster they do it, the more room there is for error. And the more people can see what they're doing, the more normal people can look at them and go, what the fuck are you guys doing? So I think the rabbi is pushing him to speed it up. Might not have been a great idea. But of course, they're, they're selfish and they all want what they want, just like the rest of their people. Yeah, I think people need to see this Berg video that may not know anything about this. You know, it's important to know about, because all these other social problems, like them filling your neighborhoods with dangerous people from Africa, has to do with these guys. These guys are doing all that shit. You know, nothing can get fixed until we work out this situation. Once this situation's worked out and those minions that they placed everywhere have no backing and no power, they just scoop them up and just throw them in the fucking ocean at that point. I mean, you know, they'll have nothing empowering them, no one behind them to get you in trouble if you stand up to them. Because now you can't if you do anything about it, you're the one going to jail for fucking hate crimes. Once you get rid of once you work out the situation, however you do it, once you work out this problem, then the other thing isn't even a problem. You just go through fucking cities with this dump truck. Oh, there's one, grab it, throw it in here. There's another one, grab it. And then make everything safe again. Oh God, what a beautiful dream. The gods of Schizo Garage have enabled me to stand down here for about 11 minutes. That's not bad. I'm not going to push my luck anymore. So I'm going to go up and do some editing from the video for yesterday and hopefully get it out tonight. Until then, thanks for popping in. I just want to make a note about that. Where are the white supremacists? Where are they? Who are they? Where are the organizations? I don't know. What, Stormfront? Website? Yeah, where are they? To be the biggest problem, you'd have to be on more street corners than the real biggest problem is on street corners. And I certainly don't see white supremacists hanging out on street corners in my neighborhood, eyeing people up and down to see if they're an easy fucking grab or not, you know. But I see their minions doing it. So already, you know, the cake is on the table, man. We can see that's not true. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It's heading to something. I don't know what. I don't know when, but we can't go on like this forever. You know, it's all going somewhere. Hopefully sooner than later. Until next time, don't blame the teacher, blame the school.